We are in prison, and just right into the start we are off with some action-packed yogurt blasting scenes. So this is what y'all edgers were hoping for all along, ain't it? Well, there you go. This girl named Hyeri right here is getting absolutely butchered, just like One Punch Man's third season animation. But no, it's not because of the animators, but it's because of our MC Jaehyun, a prison inmate. Today's his last day here, and things were all set for his plan. Tomorrow he will go out and disconnect a person out of the Earth server without their consent. Back to the office, Hyeri knew her dad, who's the warden's gonna be so pissed if he finds out about this, but calling this ultra-huge nuke off is just criminal. Besides, she figured her dad doesn't care about her that much anyway. She then questions if our MC's dad was interested in him. He suddenly pauses before telling her to get into position because it's time for Phase 2. She had no idea she crossed the line asking about his dad. Once he finished planting banana seeds, Hyeri hands him a piece of paper he's been asking for before he's sent back into his cell. Inside the cell, Jaehyun's the top dog and his minions already did what they were told for him to be able to commence his plan. Morning came. It was time for Jaehyun to dip. Outside, he takes a look at the paper Hyeri gave him. It was an address of his target. That night, Jaehyun arrives at a city, and there were couples destroying each other's cave in the middle of the street. Bro couldn't believe what the hell happened to the world. Suddenly a car pulls up in front of him, and out steps Hyeri. They had a little conversation before Hyeri gets close, crushing those ultra-large milkers into Jaehyun. But this time Jaehyun was up for something bigger than banana wastelands, so he acts nonchalant. Knowing she needs to get his attention, Hyeri hands him a phone through the bazooka blasters. She knew this way it must be in the bag, but Jaehyun just reached for the phone. Man not losing to lust. Moments later, Hyeri drops him off at a truck that had been set up for him. He got in and drove straight toward his target, crashing right into the middle of the target's car, causing a huge explosion. Somehow his target managed to live, and the last thing he saw before passing out was our boy walking to him like he's Batman. Few hours later, the incident went on the news, and we learned the guy Jaehyun's after is Chang Sub, an executive director. Jaehyun immediately went to the hospital and barges into Chang Sub's room before being stopped by the guards and Secretary Ha, who clearly needs a bigger suit. Chang Sub immediately realizes who our boy was and tells Ha that this was the guy he was talking to her about. Secretary Ha quickly apologizes and thanked him for saving Chang Sub. She explained that Chang Sub kept saying his name despite coming in and out of consciousness. Jaehyun couldn't believe this. Turns out Chang Sub thought some other NPC crashed into him, and Jaehyun, who was walking up to him, was there to save him. We then learned that when Jaehyun's parents passed away, Chang Sub was actually beside him, but not to comfort, but to shit-talk, and put the blames him for his own parents' death. After thinking for a bit, Jaehyun figured it's good this way and went along with them. After being discharged, Chang Sub went to a party with his old friends, but this time, he invites Jaehyun as well. Chang Sub's friend soon realizes it was the same Jaehyun loser they knew. They start asking him about his life, including this baddie, Kang Min-jung, who asks if he remembers her. But although she's a baddie, she's like Thanos when it comes to bullying Jaehyun. Loki, if this was my bully, I'd let her bully me all day. Anyways, out of nowhere, one of the guys starts running his mouth about how our boy deleted his own parents from the server. But before he can finish, Chang Sub swings a bottle like it's Thor's hammer straight at his head. Then Chang Sub aggressively tells everyone to beg Jaehyun for what they did to him in high school. Min-jung asked if he's lost his mind, but instead of getting answers, she got a hand flying towards her face instead. Eventually, Jaehyun told him to stop, but Chang Sub suddenly got freaky and pulled Min-jung in, causing the hidden bazooka blasters to fall out of its holster, stating he can't let her get away like this, and suggests she should use something else instead if she doesn't want to use words. Knowing what he meant, she surrenders, but it was too late. Bro's freakiness is already out of this world. Jaehyun also figured her build is insane, so he agrees with Chang Sub. Others continued partying after Min-jung was sent with Jaehyun. Inside the toilet, Min-jung tells Jaehyun to lie to Chang Sub that it's done, but no one in their right mind would throw away this opportunity. Jaehyun quickly used a force on her before pulling out his lightsaber to jab her. Bro's so fast Min-jung couldn't even go on defense in time. That's when she learned dealing with Gunnar when they get an opportunity is close to impossible, and before she knew it, her mind was already lost in space due to the impact of the saber. Jaehyun snapped her back to her senses, asking if she's gonna let this keep on going. This was when she was like, "Oh right, I need to get out of here." But we all know that was a trick from our MC before he continued to destroy the cave like he used to be stuck in there. After some time they stopped the war, and she apologizes to him, but it was too late. Jaehyun reached the point of no return. Minjung got absolutely destroyed, but just when she thought this was all over, it turns out that was just the warm-up round. With no choices left, Minjung begged for her way out, so Jaehyun proposed her a deal. In return for letting her go from now onwards, she must always be available if he summons her. Of course she said hell nah, and got destroyed once again. Once everything was over for real, they both came out, Minjung more ashamed than ever. Jaehyun lets Chang-sub know it was great. We then get a flashback to their high school days. Jaehyun had always been a bystander, until one day he realized he had to do something because Min-soo, who Chang-sub was bullying, looked cooked like a well-done steak. That turned out to be the worst move he ever pulled in his lifetime. That day changed his life. No, he didn't go into his villain arc instead, he entered his bullied arc. He was cooked by Chang-sub every day to a point where normal life would become a luxury. Time went by, and the bullying got worse, and all he could do was endure it. Then that day, when he was being forced to fight with Min-soo, Chang-sub suddenly figured this was too boring, so bro decided to pull a dropkick at Min-soo, causing him to fall out of the building. Well, you know what happened. Next day came and Chae-hyun was reported as the person who drop-kicked Min-soo. Everyone puts the blame on our boy, and the police never cared to listen to his side of the story. That's when his parents quit their jobs to find a witness, and they were getting somewhere. So Chang-sub put an end to them by burning down their house. Jae-hyun knew it was him. From that day onward, he devoted his life to taking down Chang-sub. Goddamn, Chang-sub must be taken down for real. After a long time, Jae-hyun was finally able to visit his parents' grave and assures them that he will make Chang-sub suffer in every way off possible before sending him off to them. So that day he tracked down one of the guys from the party and waiting on the streets for him to pass by. He mogs Jae-hyun, but before he could continue with his yapping, Jae-hyun sends one left hook straight into his face, knocking few of his teeth out. After some more beating and ankle breaking, Jae-hyun learned who gave their testimonies when Min-soo left the server. But what surprised him the most was when he learned that the one who burned down his house was not Chang-sub, but baddie Yoo Seo-young. Meanwhile, Min-jung is having a breakdown after what she'd been through, and when she went to Chang-sub, all he did was throw money at her. Then her doorbell rang. Wondering who it was, she opened it thinking it was Chang-sub coming to apologize, but turns out it was Chae-hyun here to question if she was one of the ones who testified in the case. However, Min-jung crashed out at him, so he used the force on her and starts jabbing her with lightsabers again. Min-jung lets him know Chang-sub won't let him get away, so he asserts dominance by giving a call to Chang-sub midway into destroying Wall Maria. Min-jung did her best to stay quiet so Chang-sub wouldn't find out, but as it goes on, she learns that to Chang-sub, she's just an object he reaches for when he's bored. After hearing that Jae-hyun didn't back down one bit, but went back even stronger than before, trying to break her mentally and physically. Once it was done, he lets her know maybe she doesn't want to get revenge on Chang-sub, but Yoo Seo-young instead, and offers to help, but she wasn't having any of it now, so he tells her to think about it. Few days later, Chang-sub's sister Kim Si-young pulls up to his office and unintentionally saw Jae-hyun realizing he's free. Now she orders her minion to find out more information about him. Meanwhile, Chang-sub's busy trying to plant banana seeds, but his farming must come to a pause when Seo-young barges in questioning about the incident. They talk about Jae-hyun, and Si-young learns from her brother that they've already met and made it up. She questions if Jae-hyun accepts his apology, so he tell her how he was saved by Jae-hyun, and figured that was an indicator that they are cool now. Si-young knew right away something was not adding up. Thank God someone got brains. That night at his apartment, Jae-hyun starts putting photos of all the people he suspects on the wall like he's a special agent. More like Special Gooner at this point. Anyways, right now his focus is on Kim Si-yang. At a cafe, Seo-young meets up with Min-jung and starts to shit on her non-stop after learning she got absolutely destroyed by Jae-hyun's heat-seeking moisture missile. Min-jung questions why she wants to see her, but there was no valid response. Min-jung had to teabag her, so she starts mentioning about the fact that she must have a lot of time now since she lost her spot as the heir, and it was a critical hit. Seo-young was about to start throwing hands in coffee, but was stopped when she receives a notification on her loans. Min-jung knew something was up with her, but before she could ask her more questions, Secretary Ha intervenes and asks the both of them to not cause any more scene for Chang-sub, since they've already got enough scandal with him. We then learned that Seo-young actually called Ha here, so she told Ha they should talk outside since she's done with Min-jung, While walking out, she lets Minjung know that she knew Chang Sub also destroyed her, and wishes she doesn't end up as a public land for banana seed plantation. That was the last straw. Once Seo Young left, she calls Jaehyun right away to let him know she will help him on his plan to destroy Seo Young. She needs Seo Young on her knees in front of her. A few days later, Jaehyun gets in contact with Hyeri to get a follow-up on their plan to get back at Seo Young. Okay, y'all gooners, this might be a bit of intense info, but here's how it goes. Jaehyun's plan is to make a lot of money through a shell company with no real operations. He knew that Seo Young was deep in debt, which meant she would do anything to get more money. His plan was to leak information about a golden investment opportunity through another shell company owned by Hyeri to Seo Young. Although she would hesitate at first, her desperation for money would soon overpower her caution. Once she's in on the deal, he will increase the deposit over the initially agreed amount more and more until she does not have enough money, and that's when he will approach her with money. Seo Young, of course, looks down on Jaehyun right away after seeing him questioning how he could help her. She figured Jaehyun's a brokey anyway, but Jaehyun starts yapping and shows that he knows what she's planning to gain money and fame, and reveals that whatever she's in on would also benefit him. Still, despite that much info he has on her, Seo Young still thinks he's bluffing, but that all changed when he opened up his briefcase and shows he's actually got cash. He hands her his business card and lets her know she can call him if she's decided to take his money. Seo Young ended up taking Jaehyun's deal. She reads the contract. She finds that if she takes the money, she must give him a partial ownership of her company, but still agreed on it anyway. She then crushed her Ultra Milker bazookas up and questions if his money is clean. Jaehyun lets her know none of that matters. She just have to pay up. Later that day, Seo Young went straight to Hyeri to pay for the deposit. And oh my, it's insane Hyeri is packing these broad daylight. All right, lock in, Hyeri reports to Jaehyun right away and wonders how'd Seo Young feel when she finds out the money she borrowed from him just went straight back to him. All right, if y'all are still confused or you're just here for banana seeds plantation, just pause and take a look at this picture. Basically, in this deal, you Seo Young's the only one getting cooked like well-done steak. As this keeps going on, she will always have to come back to Jaehyun for more money. And he was right, they meet again. And this time she's more interested in him, but Jaehyun refuses to tell her anything unless she tells him a secret. Seo Young knew he wants something from her, so she let him know he can ask anything from her. So our boy did not hesitate for a second, and straight up asks if he could borrow her land to plant some seeds. She gets close and asks if he's lost his mind in jail, so he lets her know it's fair considering the information he has. Besides, with the amount of money he gave her, anyone would already be spreading the cave wide open like it's Disneyland. Seo Young sends a slap right to his face right away, but instead of crashing out and getting freaky, he gave her a bit of information on a stock saying it's gonna go up. A week went by, and what Jaehyun told her was legit. She starts to wonder where he's getting all this information, so that night she went to Jaehyun and immediately tells him she's down to get Wall Maria destroyed by his colossal titan. In return, she wants him to loan her another $3 million alongside investment scoops he have. Only an idiot would say no. Seo Young couldn't believe she got herself into this as she finds herself revealing the giant blasters for our boy, and damn, I must say those cannons was worth the wait. Well, we all know what happens next. But little did Seo Young know, Jaehyun was voice recording all of their conversations as she's starting to get freaky.